Hello and welcome back. My name is Julian White, and today we are going over the movie Erin Brochovich. So, at the heart of Erin Brochovich is a real environmental crisis. The residents of Hinckley, California are getting sick. Cancers, chronic illnesses, reproductive issues, and no one seems to have an answer as to why. The film reveals that the Pacific Gas and Electric, or PG&E company, contaminated the town's water supply with hexavalent chromium, a toxic chemical. What makes this a social problem is that it's not just one family or one incident, but a systematic failure. It's a corporation hiding information, regulators not doing their job at enforcing laws, and a community without the power or resources to fight back. The film shows how environmental harm often falls on working class communities who have the least ability to defend themselves. One of the most interesting parts of the film is how it uses Erin's character to highlight issues of class and credibility. Erin is a single mother with no legal training, no degree, and no professional appearance. Because of that, people constantly underestimate her. But the film flips that stereotype. Erin's lived experience and struggling to survive, raising kids alone, dealing with judgment, they actually give her the empathy and determination needed to connect with the Hinkley residents. She listens to them, believes them, and treats them like human beings. The movie critiques how society decides who counts as an expert. Erin's emotional intelligence becomes just as important as any legal strategy. Another major theme is institutional failure. The residents don't just distrust PG&E, they also distrust doctors, regulators, and the legal system. And the film does a pretty good job of showing how that is justified. Doctors misdiagnose symptoms, regulators overlook violations, legal processes are slow and expensive. The people of Hinckley are left to navigate a system that was not built for them and nor will protect them. Erin becomes the bridge between the community and the law. She translates complicated information into something people can understand, and she pushes the legal team to see the residents as more than just case numbers. The film suggests that when institutions fail, change often comes from individuals who refuse to look back. A part of the film that often gets overlooked is the emotional labor Erin performs. She comforts families, listens to painful stories, and builds trust. The labor is gendered, it's expected of women, and while undervalued, it's also very rarely compensated. Yet in the film, it becomes the backbone of the entire case. Without Erin's relationships, the lawsuit wouldn't have the same strength. The movie challenges the idea that professionalism has to be cold or detached. Sometimes caring is a strategy. And even though Erin is the main character, the film also highlights the power of collective action. The residents of Hinckley come together, share their stories, and support each other. Their solidarity is what ultimately forces PG&E to take responsibility. This story matters, as environmental injustice always matters, and it continues to affect low-income communities across the country. Corporations consistently cut corners and institutions fail to protect people. Aaron Brochovich reminds us that ordinary people can challenge these powerful systems, but it shouldn't take a crisis or a lawsuit for the communities to be safe. It's always funny when I watch movies like these because I hate to say it, but there's so many of them. And it's ironic because of the fact that it's as consistent as it is, and it shouldn't be. The idea of adopting the EPA was again to regulate companies and to regulate the country itself, to make sure that society and individuals such as corporations don't just take advantage of what we have, but rather protect it, and that we work with each other to do so. In today's current society and current age, we see that the EPA has been cut back in terms of funding, in terms of regulatory power, in terms of enforcement, whether that be by design or because companies just got a lot smarter and knew how to go past whatever regulations were in place. But we're already seeing the effects of that. I think the video that we watched in class from the BBC, where the oil, I believe it was an oil factory or a processing plant, was diluted, or excuse me, was going into the water and it was harming the people that were living there. And that story is so common when it shouldn't be. Outside of America, almost every country will have a story like this where their nature, their people are taken advantage of, their resources are taken out, and the people nearby are hardly ever considered. Look at Peru, where miners are dying of radiation poisoning, mining up uranium. You're not going to see that in first world countries, maybe. But then even then, look at the miners in Appalachia here in America. How long have they been in poverty, generational poverty? And how long have they been protected for? A lot of them still die of the same issues as maybe 50 to 80 years ago. And this movie is a great reminder of that, as much as it shouldn't be. Thank you for watching.